Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went there? Or maybe you've struggled to recall a name, a birthday, or even where you left your keys, only to brush it off, telling yourself, this is just what happens as we get older. But what if I told you that memory loss, the kind so many of us quietly accept, isn't always an inevitable part of aging? What if behind these small lapses, there are hidden truths about your mental health, truths that can change the way you see yourself, your life, and your future? Close your eyes for a moment and picture a vast library. Each book represents a memory, a cherished moment, a lesson learned. Now imagine, one by one, some of those books disappear. You search the shelves, but they're just gone. The silence that fills the space isn't just about the missing stories. It's about the anxiety, the frustration, and the quiet fear that maybe something is slipping away inside you. But is it really just age? Or is there something more to uncover, something we've been taught to ignore? Let's start with the first hidden pattern, the normalization trap. For decades, we've been told that as we grow older, our minds will naturally slow down, our memories will fade, and our sharpness will dull. We hear it from friends, from television, even from doctors sometimes. So when the forgetfulness begins, we shrug, accept, and move on. But this normalization can be dangerous. It convinces us to ignore signs that might actually be signals from our minds and bodies that something needs attention. In reality, occasional lapses are common at any age, but significant, persistent memory loss isn't something we should just accept as normal. It can be a sign of stress, depression, sleep issues, or other health concerns. By accepting memory loss as inevitable, we risk missing out on early interventions and the chance to reclaim control over our mental health. But what about those hidden habits, those patterns of thought and feeling that quietly undermine our minds each day? Here comes the second pattern, the weight of silent worries. Imagine you're carrying a heavy backpack every single day. You add a stone for every worry about your health, your family, your finances, your purpose. Over time, the weight becomes so familiar that you barely notice it. But it's affecting your every step, wearing you down, making even the smallest tasks harder. Silent anxiety and unspoken fears can quietly erode our attention, our focus, and yes, even our memory. The mind, preoccupied with worries, becomes less able to encode and retrieve information. This is why managing stress isn't just about feeling better emotionally. It's about protecting your mind, your memories, your sense of self. Now let's talk about something most of us rarely admit. The third pattern, the hidden toll of isolation. Picture a garden. When it's tended, watered, and cared for, it flourishes. But if left alone, weeds creep in, flowers wilt, and the soil grows hard. Human connection works the same way. Social isolation, especially as we age, can dramatically impact our cognitive health. When we withdraw from friends, family, or social activities, our minds lose the stimulation and joy that come from meaningful interactions. Loneliness is more than a feeling. It's a risk factor for depression, anxiety, and yes, even accelerated memory loss. But here's the hook. The roots of connection are everywhere, waiting to be watered. Sometimes all it takes is reaching out with a call, joining a community group, or simply sharing a story with a grandchild. But wait, the next habit is the one that surprises most people. Habit 4, the cycle of comparison. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, I used to be so much sharper, or my parents never seemed to struggle like this? This quiet habit of comparing ourselves to who we once were, or to others who seem to be aging better, can become a mental trap. It's like looking in a cracked mirror. Every reflection is distorted, every flaw magnified. These comparisons can feed feelings of inadequacy, shame, or sadness, which in turn impact self-esteem and motivation. The truth is, every brain is unique, and the journey of aging looks different for everyone. Instead of measuring yourself against the past, try to focus on the present, on the skills, wisdom, and resilience you carry with you now. Still with me? Because the most important truth is just ahead. Habit 5. The myth of purpose lost. For many, retirement or an empty nest brings a sense of freedom, but for others, it can feel like stepping into a fog, uncertain, aimless, and quiet. Without the daily routines, the responsibilities, or the roles that once defined us, it's easy to feel adrift. This loss of purpose can quietly sap our mental energy, leaving us less engaged and more susceptible to depression. And yes, to memory challenges. But here's the secret. Purpose is not a destination. It's a garden you cultivate every day, in small ways. Whether it's volunteering, mentoring a grandchild, or simply tending to a beloved hobby, every act of meaning strengthens your mind and spirit. But these aren't the only patterns at play. There's another that hides in the shadows, the sleep saboteur. Have you ever tossed and turned at night, replaying old conversations or worrying about tomorrow? As we age, changes in sleep patterns can make restful nights harder to come by. Poor sleep doesn't just leave us tired, it can impair attention, concentration, and memory. The brain needs deep, restorative sleep to consolidate memories and process emotions. Yet, so many of us accept sleepless nights as just part of getting older. But imagine if you could reclaim your nights. What would your days look like then? Let's pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. If any of these patterns sound familiar, you're not alone. Millions of people over 60 struggle with these hidden habits every day, often in silence. But silence is not our destiny. There's hope, and there are steps you can take to nurture your mind, protect your memories, and rediscover your sense of joy and purpose. So what can you do, starting today, to support your mental health and memory after 60? First, challenge the normalization trap by staying curious about your mind. If you notice persistent memory loss, don't brush it off. Talk to your doctor, share your concerns with your family, and seek support when you need it. Remember, early attention makes all the difference. Second, lighten the load of silent worries. Try writing down your concerns, sharing them with a trusted friend, or practicing simple mindfulness techniques. Sometimes, giving your worries a voice is the first step toward letting them go. And don't underestimate the power of laughter. A good laugh with family can melt away even the heaviest stones. Third, nurture your connections. Reach out to family, friends, and your wider community. Even small moments, a phone call, a shared meal, a walk in the park, can nourish your mind and soul. If you're feeling isolated, consider joining a book club, a senior center, or an online community. Remember, every time you connect, you're tending your inner garden. Fourth, break the cycle of comparison by practicing self-compassion. Instead of criticizing yourself for what you've forgotten, celebrate what you remember. Instead of longing for the past, cherish the wisdom you've gained. You are not less. You are more experienced, more resilient, more capable of adapting and thriving. Fifth, rediscover your purpose, no matter how small. Every act of kindness, creativity, or learning adds meaning to your day. Teach your grandchild a new skill. Volunteer for a cause that matters to you. Share your stories and lessons with the next generation. Legacy isn't just what we leave behind, it's what we build in every moment. Sixth, honor your sleep. Create a calming evening routine. Dim the lights, listen to gentle music, avoid screens before bed. If worries keep you up, try jotting them down in a notebook, promising yourself you'll revisit them in the morning. Sleep is not a luxury, it's a vital ingredient in your health and happiness. And finally, never underestimate the power of hope. Science shows that our brains remain adaptable throughout our lives, a phenomenon called neuroplasticity. This means it's never too late to learn, to grow, to strengthen your memory and enrich your mind. Every new experience, every heartfelt conversation, every moment of joy or reflection, these are the nutrients that keep your inner library vibrant and alive. If you recognize yourself in these words, know that you're not alone. Your experience matters, and your journey is important. Not just for you, but for your children, your grandchildren, and all those whose lives you touch. Imagine the legacy you create by taking care of your mind, by modeling resilience, by showing that aging can be a time of discovery, connection, and meaning. As you move forward, try choosing one small habit to nurture each day. Maybe you'll call a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Maybe you'll spend a few minutes each morning reflecting on something you're grateful for. Or maybe you'll teach your grandchild a favorite recipe, passing down not just a meal, but a memory, a piece of your story. Remember, it's not about never forgetting. It's about cherishing what matters, adapting with grace, and finding joy in each moment. The truth about mental health after 60 is this: you are not defined by what you forget, but by the love you give, the connections you keep, and the hope you carry forward. If this message touched your heart, if you saw yourself in these words, I invite you to like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe it's a friend, a sibling, or even one of your children. Let's break the silence together and start a conversation about healthy aging, about what really matters. And if you want to stay connected, to keep learning and growing with a community that cares about your well-being, consider subscribing and joining us on this journey. There are so many more stories to share, so many more tools and insights to explore together. In closing, remember this: your mind is a garden. With a little care, attention, and hope, it can flourish at any age. Each memory, each connection, each act of kindness is a seed. And though the seasons may change, the garden of your life remains beautiful, full of wisdom, laughter, and love to pass down for generations. So, tonight, as you close your eyes, let go of the worries, let go of the comparisons, hold close the memories that matter, and trust that tomorrow brings new opportunities to grow, to connect, and to live with purpose. The story of your mind is far from over. It's still being written every single day. If this made sense to you, let it be a spark. Like, comment, share, and subscribe so more people can find hope, support, and inspiration on their own journey. And remember, you are not alone. Your story matters, your memories matter, and the best chapters may still be ahead.